on?
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to BeoTalk number 302.
That's it.
Everybody's doing well. We're not muted. Yeah!
That's right.
It
Unless you
hasn't.
have a stage right now, that's you're not doing well.
Yeah, or a contour, or just a general app.
Anyways, let's do some shilling before we do some slaying, I guess.
uh, oh, you're still big here.
That's
Go
it.
buy a cover for like a 950s, Beolab 8000s, that sort of thing.
Level.
On Skinny Play, use the link and the promo code to get 10% off, which is nice. Come join our Discord if you're a Bio nut, because everybody seems to
Lots of
be.
good info there now, man. It's honestly a lot of good information flowing through that channel, so it's very good to be a part of it. Highly
Uh,
recommend it.
we're still on Twitch if you don't care for the red side. And oh yeah, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet already.
That's it.
That's still a thing.
It's a big thing, I guess, still for YouTube's.
Yeah, the algorithm is still a thing.
Yeah. So
Uh, wait, what the hell? Why is he? Oh, okay.
plus what?
No, nothing. YouTube changed something again.
Of course.
It is what it is. Whatever.
Never changes.
Yeah, God, they change everything and they don't let you know. So it's a surprise on Sunday. How was your week?
Oh, pretty monochrome, I guess, or monotone, you could call it. We didn't really do much. Nothing special happened. I tried to get our Origin Acoustics Bang & Olufsen and ceiling speakers going, but the last time people remember them that they ran was on Biosound Essence Mark 1 or a Playmaker. So the hopes of finding the cables for them became very, very slim. And at this point, I'm just going to rerun the wires. And I put a halo on the wall in the showroom, so that's cool. So
All
that's
right.
the cool things that happen. Other than that, just regular installs, not much to it. I did a harmony with the Lab 8s. Obviously took no pictures because that's how I work. And it sounded great actually. I even stereo paired them. I was one of the first times that I had the experience with it that was very, very smooth. That everything just like the dude was impressed how well it ran. It was almost like the Sonos back in the olden days before they changed the app.
Yeah, it's
Oh God, I have a story for that actually. It's completely unrelated to the BNO, but I think BNO, you guys should take a note about, messing about with the app. And essentially I think the Sonos, and I'm sure I'm gonna get corrected on this in Discord, and I appreciate that. But I think Sonos, the main drive to revamp the amp was to integrate those goofy ass new headphones that they came out with.
yeah.
And now, if you have the new app and you do anything of any sorts, like, update some client's network or whatever, you are no longer able to pair everything into the surround, into the soundbar, like in the olden days where Logic would have it. So after about an hour and a half, me and Etienne, like literally, I thought we're just gonna burn the place down. It was unfucking believable. Anyways, I've done like this is ridiculous. Like we can't be trying the same thing over and over and over after resetting and blah blah blah. So I got on the forums and dug around the Googlies and whatnot, and I found that you have to delete the subwoofer from the Sonos soundbar, right?
Yeah.
And each of the speakers that you want to put into the surround have to now be as a separate room. So one has to be kitchen and one has to be, let's say, living room, and the basement is where the surround system is. So you put all those together and then you add a subwoofer. Makes no fucking sense whatsoever, but that was the only way we could get that system going back up and running.
That seems broken.
So yeah, the Sonos literally they just took the cake for BNO as far as like who can fuck up the app more. And yeah, from what I gather now, basically the BeoSound stage is rendered almost unusable because
Yeah, I've
of
seen that
what it
several
does.
times all over the place now. You can't change sound modes. You can't change your list.
So,
I'm
and
just
even like
very happy
Stefan's
mine
issue,
is like still in a box over here. Because
yeah,
I'd be
don't take it out. But
God.
it's just I don't understand. It's incredible with the app. I haven't gotten to the Tidal side yet, as far as exploring the music and the options that I would have with it, because right now, as it stands, at least 60% of my playlist are grayed out. Same as in the shop. All the music that we used to demo is grayed out now. You can't play it anymore. It absolutely makes no sense what just happened. And shit drops out, man. Like there is nobody's business. Obviously, unless you have, I would say, more than 10 products, you don't really see it as much. But in a showroom where we have everything on the app, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
have to have it on the app, it's suffering. And I would say everything other than like the emerges, we have one emerge, one A5. A5, it's really not even hardwireable as far as I'm concerned, unless you put the USB-C converter with the blah blah blahs and whatever's right.
Yeah, but then it's
If
not
that
a
even
movable
works.
speaker anymore.
Exactly. So there's very few things that are on the Wi-Fi. Let's just say, right? Everything is hardwired. All the static products are fucking. There is a cable going into it and the panel above it, if there is one.
Mm-hmm.
50s hardwired, 90s hardwired, BeoLab 8s on the wall hardwired, and those have more problems than the ones that we have just standing on their own. We also have them on a wireless. We have a gold pair that doesn't seem to have as many issues as the ones that I run Cat 7 between, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of weirdness going on. I don't know if like I understand the deadlines, but I don't think the people upstairs at the B&O office understand what those actually implement if the product is not even half baked. If the dough is still running, you don't have a fucking cake, man. And it's an atrocity. It's atrocity for me to work with this now because everything falls off. Like the app restarts 6 times. I did the BioConnect core with the S8 speakers. Friday pleasure job, no fun, or I mean, no hard thing. Took me longer to drive there than to set it all up, but I did it through the client's app. Thankfully, he was on the Android. But yeah, you pair the speakers, put the Wi-Fi password, then it circles the drain, right? Goes to the install update or later, and then it crashed. So we go back in, push the update through, finish the update. The app was stuck on, still updating. I see the speakers. I mean, the Connect core is white. I'm gonna shut the app off, restart the app, add the fucking thing to the account one more time for the third time, I think, or fourth at the time it was already, and then it worked. Thankfully, they fixed the fact that the Chinese station didn't load into the My buttons. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. That was what the hell, man. And yeah, it all works as far as the Core Connect and that was a Philips TV, bro, like an older one.
Oh, okay. So
So I
probably
was
just as
going like,
ARC.
yeah, it was just an arc, but it was literally something that I'm like, is it gonna work? Because we know how B&O is with the things, and yeah. But I'm a strong believer now, and it's more of a proof too, where if you move a product away from a product it's connected to, such as speakers, let's say anything, WISA or whatever, I honestly think the best remedy is to start off with a clean slate on both parties. So reset the speaker to factory and reset your system to factory and retune everything. Because the bugs just stay, the ghost speakers sometimes stay. And it's something that I'd rather, basically have it quote unquote out of the box already installed and start from scratch. Pop in the microphone and do that. At the end of the day, if you're doing microphone sweeps with the theater, I find that now that the uh, duplication and the speaker presets works better, I only do one measurement. If there's, if they sit on the sofa or whatever and couch and a chaise, right? I do a few based on that because just for the sake of the distances. But usually I just do one and duplicate to whatever Atmos and and regular surround, and it seems to work fine. It's just yeah, the app experience now, guys. It's not fun, man. You literally are sucking the fun out of it.
I am, for the first time in a long time, I'm glad that I was on beta because was it 4.9 version, I think, because we're now on 5 point something or other. Mess it all up with the Deezer search. Like you couldn't search anything; it would just say.
Oh yeah, I remember that with you. Yeah, we had the conversation about it on the
Yeah,
WhatsApp,
well,
I guess.
that was a known bug. Apparently, that known bug got expanded into other territories. Probably that's where you can't find all the music, right, that you already have in a playlist. But when that happened, I went back to the last 4.8 point whatever version. And that still is relatively okay. And I haven't updated since because, God, is it terrible. Because even the regular version, the full-on non-beta release is shit now.
Yeah, they really did that. And also, I think it's BeoHelp or whoever's helping out with the PHC, deleting people's sound presets that they can to get or listening positions that they cannot erase anymore from the app. I'm glad that he's doing it because I just don't have enough time in my.
But apparently, it still leaves ghost positions in your remote.
Yeah. I guess the only way is to unpair the remote control and repair it back after factory resetting the remote control itself. That's the only way that I can see that.
I think several people have said that even doesn't fix it. So you're back to like fully factory resetting your theater.
That's the only option.
Or waiting for a software update because I'm sorry, but this is shit. Like, I still have to make a bunch of new listening positions because my living room is almost entirely done, right? And it sounds way different, and there's sound insulation and stuff up, and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I don't want to risk it on the new normal release because, like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
As in, like, not the usual terrible, but the actual, like, terrible. Like, what the hell? Like, what are we doing here?
I think that they released the update before they were able to, or they were fully or at all ready. But that was the, June 1st has to go type of thing, or whatever the day that this nonsense came out, because it's been a while since the app is fucked. I would give it at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, but what I have some grace and and I understand that a beta is buggy, right?
I completely agree. That's why we're in the beta, right?
Yeah, I'm not that bothered when that happens, although it's annoying when new stuff breaks. But it's to the point where, like, I don't understand how this is like a full-on release. Like, how is this released? How was this okayed? Like, did nobody test it? As in, like, internally with anything?
I don't think so. I think they just pressed upload and let's see what happens.
Yeah, but again, then it comes down to the strategy, right? Like, if you're like some sort of, I don't know, big box store brand, okay. But if you're going after like the multi-millionaires, the people with more than 10 million in their bank account, if that's now your desired target audience, like this is, you can't do this.
No.
Like, what the hell?
Unless you're betting on the fact that you can only sell them once. Right? Because you sell them beautiful product with a very, very negative experience, and they're not going back to it.
Yeah.
Or even worse, what happens, it's then being integrated by third-party systems like Savant or whatever else have you, where you lose the entire beauty of that how BNO works, and you just get a fucking iPad or some shite remote Control 4, whatever, in your hands, and off you go.
It's one thing if the app is just a setup app, but essentially for most things it's a remote now, because you no longer have on-screen anything.
No.
Like if you had an on-screen menu like the Harmony, right? Like fine, whatever, you just change it in the device because it's like you don't have to use the app. But this is partially why I still don't like using a phone for setup, because like why can't you just access the device?
Yeah, I don't understand why this is. I get it why it's easier working with it compared to, like, going back to the Harmony in the shop and playing with the settings. I'm like, oh, for the love of God, like it's much easier to hide sources on the app in the theater, and there are perks. However,
they need to work.
They need to work 100%, man. Like that's just what it is, and it's and like, okay, I understand if something's buggy and the rest works. Why now this that was buggy is fixed and that wasn't fucked up is now buggy? Or it's even non-existent function, like noise canceling's gone on, it's gone off again on the portals, I believe, in the app. I'm so tired of it. I just stopped looking.
I remember being, and I think and I don't mean this meanly, I remember complaining about this with the E8s, and I think you and Henrik were sort of like, yeah, but it's old, right? Because you could set the transparency level before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the exact inversion with ANC now, with every headphone. Like it's either on or it's off. There's no like products that you could have a sliding scale for. You can no longer do that.
You can, or the portals you can with the dial on your side.
Yeah, but on the app,
modulate it.
You could also
can on the app.
Like you still had the slider, right?
Yes.
For how much?
That's non-existent.
Like it's either on, full on, like because it doesn't go to whatever you've had set it to before. It's either 100% or 0. And with the E8s, it's exactly the same, right? Like because you could set like transparency mode was like you had 4 levels of like like a little bit like you could hear around you, then like very dim music and you could hear well around you, or like full on transparency. It's now full on transparency or nothing. And the weird thing is, if I pair them to my iPad, which is on an older version of the app, and then take them off, then the setting is back again. But as soon as I pair them to my phone, it's like full on or full off again.
Yeah, that's the app, man. That's just what it is. They boned it up pretty good.
Well, it's almost like you had no clue how people use their stuff, which is, and I think they do, or it's like overlooked, or I don't know what to make of it. Like the app looks a bit better and more uniform, but like this is not the way.
Yeah, and some people disagree with the sliders over the volume wheel that the round one was, because the round volume wheel was pretty much unique to the B&O app. Everybody else had sliders, just like we have now too. Like it's just down to boring sliders. And I like the multi-room interface more. It makes more sense as far as...
that is for sure an improvement, yes.
That is a very good improvement, but when it comes to, let's say, Deezer, where they put all this shit that I would always uncheck, even for clients, because they didn't like that. They just wanted their music.
Yeah, now all of recommended.
It's all splashed in it's force fed into your screen, and then if you want your music, then you tap to the favorites, and you miss 60% of your whatever you're listening to. So I don't understand, how is that possible?
Yeah, I don't understand it either. It's I have a feeling that it's not actually the software on the products mostly, because
no, it's not. It's the app.
Yeah, a lot of the products haven't been updated in fucking ever, and they worked with the older version of the app. So
Stage is a perfect example. There was no update for it for a while now, and all of a sudden.
But it's kind of weird how the app on an external device mandates how your product operates, right?
That is a bit strange.
Because unless they're just not ready, and because you have those three new top lines of like for headphones, right? Like you have what
Hmm.
is it, normal listening, ANC on, and or transparency or whatever.
Yeah,
Unless it's not done, and you're supposed to hold that down, and then you get the slider or something. But then I'm also thinking like I understand that we're going to a new place, but I almost don't get why you would say like, "Hey, customer, you know this function you've had since launch.
and you
You're not
liked
going
it.
to have it for a few months, at least, if at all." It's it's it's
Yeah, here,
so stupid.
you can put that in there. Start sharing. I'm gonna
Um,
try.
One moment, s'il vous plaît. Yep, we're shared.
All right.
I mean, I take it you helped fix Stefan with just a new account fully to get his blue
Yeah,
note.
yeah, yeah. That's we were talking about it. Like you need to delete and start. I also said like why don't you go to the old account, like log into your old account and delete it, and see if you can recreate the bloody thing again. So yeah, it's connected to B&O dongle. We got 8 hours on it. Then let's see if I hold.
Yeah, so it's not there. I've tried it. It's either full on or it's weird.
See, so if I do it in between, it disappears.
Yeah, it
See,
doesn't know where it is. It doesn't like.
when it goes to the middle, when I hear it tick, now it's on neutral, and then it goes. Can you drag it? No.
So yeah, so with the E8s, you had a little slider bar in the menu where you could set how much transparency you wanted when you tapped your left earbud. I mean, that's just gone now. It's just
See, that's another thing. You cannot rename the portals.
well, that may just be a bug because that same error message came whenever you searched in Deezer when that thing was up. Like even if the song was like if you're searching for the song that was top of your playlist, right? Because you pretended to be an idiot, it would just say can't find it and would show blank screen, even though it was like I don't know, aha, take on me or whatever, right? Like the whatever the thing was, fully on the top of your playlist.
Hmm. You know what's weird for me though? Also, that when I take over the account control
Yeah.
and I'm on the account for more than 2 hours, it will, and I disconnect or end the access, right? It retains the Deezer from whoever account I was controlling. I have to go to settings and then go to Deezer, and it says I'm signed in, and then I go back and I go back again, and then my playlist populates. This is nonsense that I have to go through that. And then you go to favorite tracks. And another thing is that's disappeared from here is there is no other means of sorting the music other than this is chronological from the first that I had ever created all the way down to the last one I've put in. And look how much of it is missing.
I bet you that's all back if that is fixed.
How do you mean?
Like those missing files, I bet you that's a search bug of some sort.
It
Like
has to be.
where it just doesn't know what the metadata is anymore.
It's somewhere something's messed up, man, because even my albums don't disappear. Why do you have your screen over your face? Put that shit in the middle, bro.
Yes, man.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, there you go.
Steve says,
Yeah.
"Evening, gents. I know this might be
Hey, buddy.
controversial, but why did Beano need to have embedded music streaming from within their app? Why not just let customers use their own native streaming apps? I see your point. I don't think it's controversial. I personally just don't like having like my phone or another device streaming all the time. I also Deezer has been embedded for what, 10 years now?
Yeah, it's been a long time, and this has been there since the Avant came out, basically.
Yeah, that was what, 2012,
Yeah,
2013, 14,
2013,
something
20.
like
Yeah,
that. So
so it's been over a decade.
and it's never really been a problem. And it's been kind of
Ever.
nice because you just go on your device and like you have your phone free. You can also even just leave, right? Like, which is another thing I like. I like, maybe I'm weird, right? But like I actually kind of like turning music on, and sometimes when it's like storming or whatever, the cats freak out, and then you just turn music on, and if you need to go to the store, you leave the music going. I mean, the downside is that with where the theater is, the cats can turn the music on themselves. And they have
That's a
done
little messed up.
before.
So I'm gonna try it 1 month in Tidal here right now. I am logging in. So let's see. We found an existing account. Cool. Then fucking get it. Get it, homies. I don't remember. Oh, see, I'm signed in already. Look at that. Okay. Okay, close that. So now we have our Deezer. Let's just see if I have to go. Okay, streaming service. It automatically defaulted to Tidal as soon as I signed into it.
I'm not seeing anything anymore other than the screen of Tidal.
Oh, what the fuck, over.
Like I see your mouse going up, down, left, right, but all I see is Tidal for your music. Sign in.
Switch screen. Does this work? Oh,
Yep.
that's weird.
Yeah, we're there.
Okay, so this is, yeah. So this is what Tidal looks like in the app now.
I mean, I must say Tidal looks quite good in the app.
I don't even remember what my playlists were here.
Steve says, but since Tidal was added, the app seems to have gone downhill. Spotify Connect allows to constant streaming without phone being on once a stream has been started. Yeah, I understand. I personally don't like Spotify that much.
I don't like Spotify because it does continue from whoever was the last connected to it, man. And this happens to me not as much as it used to because my girlfriend's now more conscious of it. But my TV and her TV were both named in living room.
Yeah.
And there's been times when I came home and she's playing music into here. So, yeah. And it's not fun.
I do agree that once Tidal seemed to have been added as a native streamer, that it's bad. But I actually think the badness started before then. Like I said, I think it started with like the 4.9 version. And then they fixed some things in the 5.0 version, but broke a bunch of other things again. And then as progress happened, more things got broken, not less.
Okay, I need to stop sharing because this is I got too many windows going on here now. Confirm, stop sharing, share screen. Is it this one now? I have so many screens open. Why is that? Oh, that's why.
Which one do you want to share again?
Yeah. I think I'm sharing the correct one now. So screen window. Yeah, I'm sharing the correct. Sorry, it's got a little weird here. Anyways, so yeah, this is the Deezer, and what does Deezer have in my favorites list? So tracks, playlist, album, BNO curated by Bang & Olufsen music. What is that? Oh, so they have their specific playlist?
Oh, God. So they're going to force that on us.
50 tracks. Fuji's. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's probably all the stuff that's on their CDs with the 9000C.
It could damn well be 50 tracks. Yeah, you could fit that on 6 discs for sure.
Yeah, easily. There's what, 20 songs on the CD generally?
Dua Lipa.
By the way, Steve
Oh, see, there's some
Stefan
music in
says tempted
Dolby.
to buy the 8. Yeah, before August because the price is going up again.
Yeah. Yeah, for everybody that's debating theaters, 8s, Beosound 2,
A5s,
emerges.
stages.
Hurry up. I think the biggest hurry up is Beolab 8 and A5 in Nordic Weave.
Yeah, because the 8s go up by like 11% and the A5s by like 15.
Yeah. Yeah, it's why is this? What the heck is going on? Oh yeah, because I'm paused on my stream here. Dumbass. Okay. So yeah, there's some music I guess in Dolby Atmos, maybe?
Yeah, I think they've added that recently.
I might piss off of Deezer then. I'm thinking.
I am unsure how the theater will handle that. Because both sides need to be compatible, and I have a feeling the theater for like the streaming bit of it may not be, or may not be yet, as in it needs a firmware update.
You think so?
I think so. Look, it doesn't accept it from Apple Music, right? Whichever.
Oh,
way.
the Dolby tracks?
Yeah, the Atmos tracks, yeah.
Like
the only way to do it is if you sort of stream it from an Apple TV into the theater over HDMI.
Top 50 Dolby Atmos by Tidal, bro. Shit. See what they got. Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg in Dolby Atmos. Are you kidding me?
Like you hear this guy like.
Now that is worth. That's right. Now that is worth a subscription on its own, y'all. Gin and Juice. So, and who am I too? Oh my God, there's another one. That's a classic Snoop Dogg song. Fucking hell, I am signing in, bro. We're gonna be listening to some Dolby Atmos. So now, technically, I would have to come here and create myself another.
Careful now, because if you press OK, you can't delete it for a while. Remember?
I can. I got access to the back door.
Yeah,
baby.
but it'll be in your remote. You just have a ghost position.
Call this. I'm committing. Enter. So then I would have to come here, and based on the Holy Grail and Bible, set up the positions.
Yeah, Billy said it was announced at Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference that support for Atmos music via AirPlay is coming. I believe they also said that compatible AirPlay devices would need an update for that to be sort of handled properly. So this is partially where I think that like the theater most likely needs like it's probably a handshake thing, like hey, we can do Atmos sort of thing, or we're licensed or whatever. Like it's probably an update that's not that intriguing, but
okay, so yeah, and then these guys is becoming a left back on virtual side. Right wide will be right back. And then we have elevated is going to be surround rear. And then we get the last one, which will be surround, height, rear. There we go. So that's our Atmos preset. Bass management, I'll put that down to 90. Click. And that's it. These don't have any rolls. Okay, we're happy based on Jeff Martin's
Did you print
Holy
it
Grail.
out, or did they have one, actually?
No, fucking right. So I printed out. We have a color printer and everything in the shop. We're advanced. So I made myself my own booklet. Boom. So now we have Sofa Music copy. See, that's what I don't like. It's still, you have to go back in here and rename it again.
Well, you know, the most important thing in B&O's app is the ability to name things.
There we go. I wonder, that's too many words now. I can't have Sofa Atmos, right?
You can make it S&M Atmos.
Yeah, BSDM or whatever. No. I'm just gonna delete that. I'm just gonna delete that. Music Atmos is good enough. Okay.
I still don't fully understand why, like, almost literally the most important parameter to change in the B&O's app is the name, but...
For me, what I don't like is this tab should be replaced by...
Same for the name. Like, why the fuck is the name there?
This is the tab that it should be replaced by.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my opinion, that shouldn't even be a tab, quite honestly. It should be just, if you scroll down lower on the app, it should have all the... Yeah. What's the current happenings in there?
Yeah, show me what's going on.
Because for some reason, you're not switching between, Atmos to regular surround by yourself, right? So I have to do that, and then I have to always go and see what content is playing.
Yeah.
And I was never really that worried about it till I actually got and found that document and made those changes, and they are significantly impeding the acoustic experience that you do want to know what the hell is happening. So the software update, that's a doubled up button, redundant, whatever. Throw a thesaurus at it. It shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be here.
I also think the name is really, like, at first setup, it asks you to name it anyway. Like,
yeah, I don't understand. I think that the living room should be here as a title on the top of the app, and you scroll in, it should just get smaller. But this tab these two basically have no function, really. They have one time function, because quite honestly, if you do get a software update, yes, you get a little orange dot right beside the goofy ass arrow, but these separate, and there's another window that comes up here with the software update in orange.
Yeah, you also get it in the triple dots on the top right.
Get it on your account dot here. Like, you can't miss it, bro. So I do not understand why it's there. I really don't understand why it's there.
I sometimes feel like, is it time to start over? Like, to build this app from scratch? So it's not so cumbersome. Like, you have the layout now if this is the one you want to use, right? But
I think that they should at least, start it on the side of some sorts, because maybe this is, like you're building a shopping mall on the top of a old dump. The ground ain't that solid no more, So I really think that they should do something that, because I don't know, like, you fix one thing and then bugger up the other. So I don't know if they even are still retaining or able to retain the full control over what they're doing with the app. Shit, I'm out of coffee. Well, that sucks. So let's see if I can delete it.
Serge says, somehow I cannot copy listening positions in the app on my iPhone. Is this...
Bro, it deleted it. Mine's deleted. I just deleted my Sofa Atmos. Fuck.
Wait, are you on the beta or are you on the regular release? is, I think, the regular.
I think I'm off the beta.
Yeah. By the way, Serge, I think that is another bug in potentially the beta if you're on the beta where you can't copy listening positions. Or it's the new way of doing it where like swiping. It's all a bit weird now. I was so used to the old version and then everything got changed again.
Yeah, pretty well.
And I understand the pressure of making this. I just wish like whomever is in charge of creating this pressure of like rush, 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 like please don't. Like it's not.
Yeah, you don't
It's
want to
getting
rush
better
this.
slowly, but like there's so many stumbling blocks in the meantime that it's really annoying.
So if I go here, it doesn't show anybody shout. Okay, so unless I have a source playing, so that's somewhat okay. And then I do that, and I don't see my theater.
Yay.
Now it is. So you have to have the source playing, otherwise it won't show them in the link, which is weird because it does show it in our shop. Yeah, it's working. So I also missed the button here, like to turn it off. You have to always go up here and shut it down. It's kind of goofy. Or go to here and then just all standby everything.
Yeah, but I don't always want to have all standby.
I know. That's what I don't like, that you have to go between things.
It's. I mean, this is partially why I still use my Halo a fair bit, right? Because you can like literally pull down, go to your thing, standby, or just pull it down and say if it's already on the device and just stand by that. And you get the option of stand by all or stand by just the thing it's connected to.
You know what I don't like about the Halo? I don't like the fact that I don't have an option, or it doesn't auto detect itself that it's on a wall bracket. It shows a table stand one. There's no wall bracket version in the app, which is kind of silly, considering that this has auto detect basically, right? If you go to the
It's still
settings,
broken on mine.
is it?
Yeah, it still doesn't work. Like
Mine
it
is
doesn't detect shit. It's just a theater on the wall, which is why I'm gonna like factory reset it. But which is why
I
I'm
wonder if
still
I
on the
put it.
old app version.
See, mine auto detects no matter what color I change it. It's gonna be always a screen or BeoVision variant of it, which is interesting for a color. Too bad they don't have the walnut on there yet. They have every single color combination more or less now you can buy for see, like it's oak or light oak. Like what's the difference? There is no difference between these two. Anyways, I want this in walnut. Let's see. Uh, so yeah, there are some hiccups for sure. And I also found that in some places, like the music modes, if you tap it in a certain places, it didn't work. It had to be always on the corner, but now it works. So maybe it's the music modes that you guys can delete. Because
No,
I don't
it's been listening positions or speaker
listening
groups.
positions. I find listening positions stay with the ghost, especially when you have speakers connected. And the problem that I have with that, especially in a showroom where we move stuff around and whatnot, you go to connected speakers, and if you did not remove the power link before
It'll be forever
you
there.
disconnect it, it'll be forever there. Amen, bro. It'll show up in all of your fucking listening presets in the tunes with no roll. It's so that needs to go. As far as you have to disconnect even the regular wireless ones, you have to remove them before. And again, here's the most important part: before you remove them from there, you have to sift through all of your listening presets that these speakers possibly may be included in, remove them from those, and then you can go to the settings. Sorry, you went too far back. Then you go back to the settings and you nuke the actual physical connections. Now, I like the fact that they finally had woken up and put in a play sound, because if you have, in my scenario, it's not a big deal, but let's say Stefan's, when he's got 2 pairs of 18s, well, which one is it?
Yeah, it's kind of important.
For me, it also, which one is it, even though there's only 2? I understand there's no underscore serial because there's no possibility to read that out information from there, but at least should say a WPL, not left, numbers, but right, left
whatever
or right,
the role is.
Yeah, so, but at least you can now have an option to go and play sound and go boom, right? So it is detectable.
It's nice that it's not the sound, but the doom.
Yeah, that is that sound is in the listening presets when you're adjusting the speaker dBs. Yeah. That's also nice that it's there, because where you have that.
Initially, you could play sound there, but it was just a doom.
Yeah, fucking good luck dB meter that, bro. It's not possible. And then what do you look up a freaking how do you do that? You can't.
You trust the mic 100%. Like, it doesn't make any fault ever.
Do you get the only thing I can see is have a Blu-ray with a disc that has a multi-channel with the pink noise tracks on it, so that because there are DVDs or Blu-rays like it that you could do that, but that's sad.
Yeah, I bet you it's mixed though in DTS, and the theater can't handle DTS.
Yes. So yeah, that's the shit. What I would recommend doing if you are removing speakers from your system. Then still see it's circling the drain. It always goes, I think it reports back to the mothership that I'm still they're still doing something to me and not playing them. So yeah, but I think these 2 buttons, the name and software update, really has no place in my opinion. Okay, the name kind of sort of whatever, but the software update, that just, to me, just spells uncertainty of a product. If you have to have that on the first page of your shit, there is some wrong. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I see it, that it's just not.
Yeah, I've never really understood why it's there. I sort of lived with it, but I'm at the point where I still think the old version of the app was actually not just more functional, it made more sense. Because, it's not so bad when you use your mouse like you do now, right? But when you use it on an actual phone, the amount of pages that are swipeable versus not is just a guess at this point.
Yeah, there's so much of it here. Let's try to
half the stuff is swipeable, but then the other half you need to X out of it on the top, and you can't swipe back to the previous page. Or is it if you go into remote pairing, you can't X out of that until you go to the full-on home page. It's just... It looks more unified, but the experience kind of isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the old version didn't look unified, but the experience of how to use it was.
Yeah. What the hell? Where is my burger?
There. It's there. It just came online, didn't it? It lit up.
Did it?
Yeah.
I just didn't see it.
Because it was grayed out just now, just like your Emerge was.
Interesting. No, it's not. Anyways, burger is not reachable. Why not? Let's see. Okay, so it's
what the hell was that? Like ABBA or something?
No, it's some Slovak, very, very explicit rap song that for some reason came up. I don't understand. But yeah, it's not showing up on my shiitakes. So I'll shut it off. Bing bong. It's not ABBA, you bastard.
You're a secret Swede, man.
Secret Swede. So, yeah, okay, Bluetooth on. Let's see. It should come up with this. It should darken up.
Slovak ABBA.
Slovak ABBA. That's it. It's called Slaba. Oh shit. Yeah, so now my burger doesn't show. Interesting. Let's try the pop can. Let's play with it. For some reason, we have issues technically, so let's go Bluetooth on. TikTok. There we go. We all heard that. That's good news. Good news noises.
The floor is Slava.
So yeah, it's not showing. Let's see if I play that. It's gonna play Maroon 5. Yeah, so that's playing. So none of the Bluetooth things now show up on the app.
Maybe it's because you're like the. Oh,
Why,
that's
because
also
my portals are?
Yeah. Wait, so the portals are on Bluetooth, so that makes no sense. I was saying maybe because you use the emulator or something, but
Okay, I'll turn off the Bluetooth on the portals. They should disconnect.
Oh, clearly not.
And I have all this shit connected in here now. Hold on. Off, off. Off, okay. What is happening with my portals? They are still there.
I
That's
think you
so
should
weird.
buy some Adidas trainers, like the full-on suit.
The full-on suit.
And like sit that low, right? Like.
Okay, something is still connected to the Bluetooth. What is it?
Is that why you're so good at
Portals.
like running wires through walls? Because you used to steal the copper.
That's it. Okay, so now the portals are disconnected. And they're called portals on my phone, but they're not called portals in the app. Do I have to go into another product in order to wow, this became a lot sluggish. Look at the app is not working. Tap 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 tap. Okay, so this is working. I can select my. Oh, there we go. I can select.
Chava asked, "What are you actually trying to do?"
I'm trying to see if I can get into my Bluetooth things. See, I'll turn on the pop can again. Bing bong, and this should go black. Why is it not? Why are my portals still saying that I'm connected even though I'm not? See, and it doesn't let me go in now.
If you press on a few more times, it probably will let you in weirdly with the portals.
Tap 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 tap. No. Okay, well, it's time to shut the app off. Hold on a second. The smooth interface. And now we should see the burger. No, the portals are still connected for some fucked up reason. This is offline. Why is it offline? Let's go connect. Why is it cause? And the name is all messed up too. Now it's connected. You see?
No.
How is that? Oh shit! You guys are right.
It's fine.
I forgot to share my screen. There. We call it freaking podcast.
Poocan?
Poocan. There we go. So that's saved now. Okay, so now it's showing. Why is the portal still showing? I don't have them connected on Bluetooth. So let's turn on the A1 just for the schnitzels. Can I have both of them, you think, plugged into the or connected?
I have no idea.
Let's see. Connect. Why do I have to do that? Same thing. A1 second G. Why do you rename my shit, bro? And it still says it's offline. Oh, now it's loading stuff.
Maybe it's been off for too long?
No.
I had to mute that. That's too loud. I'm still being blasted.
Sorry. Yeah. So it's offline apparently, but it's not. So yeah, there's
Weird.
the buggies. Yeah, there's the bugs, man. Put this all away.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry, y'all.
Sorry.
Maroon 5 blasted up. So yeah, that's some weirdness going on still, obviously with the Bluetooth side of app as well. And now this is called A1 2G fudge sticks.
It's bad. It's not.
It's not a smooth interface. Welcome to my role, Stefan says. Yeah, dude, bro, trust me. I walk your path there and back every day at various homes and people.
Are you in the market for a new boat?
For a new boat?
Yeah.
No, but I do like the A5 that came out. All boaty like the new what is it called?
The Riva, because Riva makes
The Riva.
boats. It's a very classic, very high-end boat company.
Mm-hmm. I like the look of it. I'm not gonna lie. I do like the look.
I mean, no indication on price, but
Grab it.
like, what do you think the premium is gonna be? Because I have a feeling it might be
I'd say
include.
$2,000.
I think that's too low because in August the price of the A5 is going to go up by 15%.
Fair enough.
So I have a feeling it's going to be more like 2.5, something like that.
Well, when you got a yacht that fits like 100,000 liters of gas in it, what's an A5 for the outside patio?
I mean,
So
they make very nice boats. On the A5, I like it. On the BeoSound 2, it's. I don't understand why you would just want, again, just a thing with a logo in a slightly different color.
because it goes good with your boat.
I mean, the boats really are quite nice, though. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not a boat guy, so I would know, but definitely. I don't know. It's cool, but then again, we're concentrating on just different colors of the product versus having the product actually work.
The Riva logo indeed is not straight, but I don't think it's straight on their boats either.
So what they're like the Ferrari of or Aston Martin or Rolls Royce of the boats type of thing.
Yeah, of the sort of sloops of the not of the like massive party yachts or anything. But if you want to be like a massive baller in Venice, you buy one of these Riva little sort of yacht sloop things.
Yeah. It's like an E-Class Mercedes type of thing, I guess, eh?
Well, I think that, like the pleb version, the bargain basement version starts at like 250 grand or something like that.
Oh, fact.
And it's like it's not a small or it's not a big boat or anything. It fits like 6 people maybe.
Yeah, but it's refined to shit. I'm certain of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not a big boat guy, but if that's that's what they tickle their pinks. Then that's what it is. I guess that's the whole that the trademark aligns
Mm-hmm.
the finish on the top, the inlays.
I mean, this
Looks
is
cool.
the sort of Venice / Italy style. I mean, they're very much known for how they work with like teak and their decking and stuff like
Hmm.
that. It's I've been on one of these boats. I understand why it's expensive, but to me, as a transport vessel, it's sort of like I kind of don't understand the price. While I do understand the price in the craftsmanship.
But that's it's refinement you pay for.
Yeah.
Does it have a functional software? I'm sure you're not running that boat off an app, Stefan.
So yeah, we're doing more special editions, I guess, which is okay.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's not something that I'm over the moon with. I would rather see a new product, something along the lines of like an actual high-end streamer device that they would come up with that has plethora of outputs and inputs for whatever. Just you know,
But isn't
call it a
the
streamer, but also a
BeoConnect core
processor.
that more or less?
Well, I would do it something that is a little more advanced and maybe give it a multi-channel capability as well. So sort of like a Biosystem 5, I think that just makes sense. And you can penetrate market on the different levels then because you can actually implement the BNO system in proper home theater setups, which it's now possible only if you stick the theater in the front, but not everybody, and that doesn't work for everybody. So, but I don't know. They just don't. I don't know if they're like out of ideas or what's going on, or they're scared to release new product because they have so much issues with the app that if you put another one on top, like, is it going to be another problem?
Well,
I don't know where the like what are we doing?
I do have a feeling they're slightly out of ideas and have been for quite a bit. Because it seems like most of the ideas come from Noto at this point.
Hmm.
But I I don't know if this is like they are out of ideas or they're just slightly afraid to say like, "Hey, Noto, do you want to be our house designer?"
Well, I think that Thorsten has moved away
Yeah, exactly.
from
So there is no
BNO.
house
So
designer really at this point, right?
yeah, but I don't think that there should be an offense taken on Lewis designers, in my opinion.
No, but I have a feeling it's an insecurity thing. Like we don't really know where we want to go and we don't really know who we trust. And we
They don't want to
kind of
give it
want
to
to
the
see it
Germans.
like product by product, right? But I don't think that's a way to go. Like, I mean, the whole reason that Lewis era, in my opinion, design wise, was so amazing, so successful, is that there was a house designer. Like, he basically had final say on everything.
Yes.
And be it a person or a company, that's kind of, to me, neither here nor there. But in the current lineup, the stuff that is the bee's knees is all Notto.
Mm.
So I like invite Torsten back for like a guest product here or there. That's fine.
Hmm.
But just like have a design studio be your design studio. Like make that the primary because like for a long time now it feels like we're sort of floating between like random people that just happen to have time to do something that somebody liked. But I think when you give Noto a bit more freedom, right?
Freedom.
They
Yeah.
they come up with amazing stuff because they've shown so far already that they're very sensitive to the heritage of B&O.
Yes.
Like they're not just going to go, well, we're Notto. This needs to be a Notto product. It's like they're absolutely not that. They're like, what's your history? We want to make a B&O product. It just happens to be by us.
Hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Like maybe a replacement for the 20s. I know it's the 28s, but they're nowhere near, in my opinion, for the capabilities.
Yeah, like Steve says, they have a 1977 Beomaster 1900 is in their studio's inspiration.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you walked the studio, Steve, didn't you?
Yeah.
I've seen the video, so yeah.
I mean, their design ideas seem to be sort of a mix between the Jensen and Lewis days. Like, there's for sure a lot more wood than Lewis ever did. But there's still enough aluminium that Lewis would go like, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, well, in the theater, they really get away with the murder because it's only the front face. The rest is all plastic in the back. So
it kind of doesn't matter if the aesthetics on the exterior are that way, right? Because, like, if you want to be very derogatory about the 50s, they're like that too. Meaning the weird thing for the 90s is that's the inverse. It's all fabric on the outside, but it's all aluminium on the inside.
And the most out of all the speakers that have ever been produced.
Yeah, but the most aluminium is used in the speaker that shows like a tiny sliver going up and down.
Just little crowns.
Yeah.
10 mil thick, I think they are.
So I have a feeling it may also be like a funding thing. Like where we're sort of like we can make X amount of stuff, but like, is it going to sell? Is it the market research there? Which I half the time don't agree with their market research anyway. So I think that would, if you're leading a company, that would make me quite nervous, right?
Well, I think their problem is at the leadership, in my opinion, because if that's where the sources get misallocated, then that's what makes the company suffer. And
I
even
agree.
though I understand that there's some partnerships that are necessary, I think that then there's also partnerships that are not necessary at the moment due to the budgeting. And I think there's also partnerships that should be there to benefit, sales of the products, but there's not many of those. So I just think that they need to concentrate more on we need more stuff out.
Name something that is fairly obvious that I bet you they had market research about the Edge.
Well, whoever did that was an apprentice, if I'm being nice.
I mean,
because that thing was a flop.
The designer was nice, but they probably had like, it's going to sell X amount of numbers, right? And then it totally didn't. But like, I'm not even sure the market research on that one was like fully faulty, but like the marketing was like non-existent. Like, we went to 2 trade shows and that's about it.
Yeah, I think so far that I would think maybe Harmony was the most shown on Instagram and social media. Now the theater a little bit, but it's really, we're still down to the headphones and these affordable walk, cash and carry products versus the core competence products.
Yeah, Steve says Michael Anastasiadis or whatever, the Greek guy. I mean, I think he's a decent designer, and it's a well-designed project, and it has interesting tech, like the movable baseboard, and at the time I was 100% sure, like, we're going to see this in something else, right? Where you have a boxed 10-inch driver that as soon as the box gets too small for the drivers, you have a ported base opening. But that tech is just not used in anything.
I don't think it was a good idea for the tech. I think they had problems with sealing it properly because, like, in these pressures, like whatever servos you make, like they have to come to this contact of like a neoprene foam that have to pressure at certain weight on it, right? Just so the base doesn't push it through.
I agree, but there is for sure, like, if you make a V2, it's going to be better, right? The V1 was the Edge. Like,
fair enough.
And the design in and of itself of that idea of like Because imagine if you can make something with that much bass that is quite literally like what 6-8 inches wide,
Hmm.
and just like you air out the excess pressure. I mean, that's kind of ingenious in a way. But
Yes.
it's, I think Beano has also patented it, but it's sort of like, yeah, whatever. It's in our back pocket in case. But we're not chasing anything with it.
Maybe they will come up with a speaker that utilizes that function in a different way. Maybe there's going to be, I don't know.
I mean,
I think
something
that,
you can have something that sort of is like a BeoLab 12.1, right? But a lot wider with a 10-inch driver and enormous bass. Like that would be amazing.
I think they should still revisit the idea of an on-wall speaker, not just the shape, but
Yeah.
like do something like the BeoLab 12 was, or BeoLab 5000s and 3000s from the yesteryears of the.
Yeah, another thing, they probably had market research about the shape, right? But then the marketing is sort of like, okay, like, do we ever see it?
I
I mean,
think that the
I've
shape
been asking
is
around in stores now, even the London store. It's like, is there any marketing on this? Like, do you sell a lot of it? And it's like,
no.
most people just see it for the first time they walk in the store. Like, and they've been looking at B&O stuff before coming, right? Because it's expensive.
Well,
Which
but
is
the
like,
splash page with that desk and those two black lamps on it with the big shape on the back, it doesn't look like a stereo system to begin with, and people don't even make a connection until they come to the store and then, oh yeah, I guess I've seen it. I think that the shape is the most understated product that they have currently. Yes, they've put a new core in it, which, by the way, it is a pleasure to hook this up. It's much simpler. It works right away. Very happy with it. Now the line in on the USB-C doesn't work on the BeoConnect core right now, but that's a different story.
but like, seriously, in terms of marketing, how costly is it to make one of those YouTube videos?
For them, not much, for sure.
In the overall budget, I doubt it's very much. Like I still don't understand why the marketing is mainly aimed at digital magazines, essentially.
Mm.
I mean, with the theater, right? Like the theater, I think was published in like 4 different magazine outlets that were also digital, or maybe they were only digital. I don't remember, but the guy that wrote the piece for one magazine was the same guy that wrote the piece for all 3 other magazines, and he just had slightly different opinions depending on the magazine he was writing for,
Hmm.
which is like, this is weird.
Well, you can see where the financial winds blow from, more or less.
Yeah, but imagine you're like, I don't know, you're Willie, the B&O guy from the New York Times, and then you have, well, in my next review, I'm Willie from the Wall Street Journal. It's like,
Mm.
wait, aren't you the same guy? Yeah, but I wrote for different outlets. See the headline.
I'm wearing a different shirt now, bro. So makes sense.
I mean, I know we complain a lot about the marketing, and like I was joking with Steve, like we could do this like just the 2 of us working from home, right? Like I don't understand what's going on here.
Hmm. It's true.
But surely that's not the only thing. I mean, I also think they're kind of out of ideas. I mean, then again, I don't think they. It's coming back a bit, but I don't think they have necessarily the funds to be as experimental as they once used to be.
Hmm.
Because, like, the sort of keyring home startup thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's no way they're ever going to do that again, or something as experimental as that.
Well, experimental or not, that thing would work like a rock solid, no problem what, because it was IR.
Yeah.
Where now it's like you press that, like, well, this is connected to the Bluetooth and so on and so forth, right? Like it's just not. You're more or less, I guess, better off wearing an AirTag with the proximity to tie it into the BeoLiving intelligence, and as soon as you cross the threshold, it'll just start your shit in the house.
When you have to say, "Oh, honey, sorry, the house doesn't work. I forgot to put my AirTag on."
Yeah, I left the AirTag in the office, sweetheart. We have to actually touch the light switches tonight. So, but yeah, I don't know. There are some things I think that they should definitely address, and I think one of them is, like I said, they need a system processor, man, and they need a streamer. They need something that, like, it's just not the app, like, where it just works, you know?
Yeah. I mean, personally, I am like I've been trying to say over and over and over again. I'm not at all opposed to them having 250 grand speakers. What I'm opposed to is to put that price tag on something you made, well, nearly 10 years ago now. That was, what, 60 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no reason for, like, there's the material cost isn't going up that much. That's just
I don't know,
straight
like,
up BS.
my suspicion, like, if there is anything, like, it's not to be a conspiracy theorist or anything, but if I'm not mistaken, they get their aluminium from Germany.
Yes.
Germany is in shambles energy wise when it comes to electricity.
Yes.
So, for the 90s to melt 65 kilos of fucking aluminium, but they're doing it in Denmark, no?
Yeah, an engine manufacturer, I think.
So I don't understand. Yes, and you're not buying the top 2% premium quality of the aluminium that's going to be painted eventually by black color. This is not something where you waste that, final finished product per se, like on the bottom of the theater, bottom of 28, so on and so forth. But I just don't understand if that's the only, like, what is the cost of fabric also gone up, man? Is the
No,
plastics,
it's
like, I
if
just
you listen to like what Sandy quite often
fucking
writes out
God.
with their like quarterly sort of market analysis, whatever thing they put out in their webcast, right? They're literally quite often raising the prices because it gives more prestige and very high net worth individuals want that. They would rather buy it if it was more expensive, is the idea.
Hmm.
Not if it was actually more valuable, just if it was more expensive.
That's the dumbest way to live a life, in my opinion, no matter how much money you've got.
Sure. I slightly agree with that, obviously, but therefore I would say make something that is always going to be expensive, right? Not something that was affordable that is now unaffordable.
Yes, I
Like
agree completely.
make the Beolab 100s or the 110s or whatever, but start them off at 200 grand. Make them silly. Make them have a wait list.
Hmm.
Uh, make them be ultra rare.
But
Something like that. Like make, for all I care, make like a run of 1,000 sets of speakers that are like 500 grand. That's fine. Like you're gonna
they'll
be,
sell. They definitely
yeah,
will sell.
exactly. And the people that buy them are very happy with them. If you actually stick to 1,000, that is one thing I should caveat with that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, God, those horn people, the avant-garde and stuff do that.
Oh yeah,
Focal
there you
does
go.
it. Like Focal has speakers that are like 350 grand without
That's
amps or
insane.
anything, right? Like just make
Hmm.
something ridiculous. It'll sell.
Yeah,
Like
but don't start cheap and go stupid after.
yeah, and can be quite esoteric with the design. That's fine. Make something sort of very much out of left field. Make something that most people would think is weird, but would look great in like a Dubai mansion or like some sort of Shah or Sheikh or whatever. They're probably going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, but like realistically speaking, I think that there should be something along the line of, let's say, like the old 6,000s.
Yeah. KCBR says, Willie, is the store selling less after all the price hikes?
We haven't seen any difference in dip.
That's what they
I don't
said in the
know.
webcast as well. Like the price went up by 10% for like 50s and 90s or whatever last time, and actually they sold more of it because
The only people that suffer from price increase, honestly, from my observation here, is or are the people like ourselves, where we dabble and dick with B&O all the time. You know the prices, you know the ins, you know the outs. People that come to the shop don't even know what the fuck the power link is. And okay, it's 13, 14 grand. Yeah, that's just, and it's also how you
sounds
present it,
reasonable.
which it really is also how you present it. And Kareem is a fucking genius in that, man. He just, I've never seen so many people come with dead batteries and leave with fucking $8,000 bill, man. Like, and happy. You know what I mean? Dude came with the dead Bio Remote one, fucking left with the subwoofer and a pair of eights for this theater last, like for the rears,
Yeah.
just like that. So it. You don't really.
B&O,
We don't
do
see
not
it.
fuck with that guy. Let him
No,
be.
let him be.
Whatever
So
he's
yeah,
doing,
we
like
don't
don't
really
make
see it.
him walk in your suit. Like
No, Kareem kills it, man. Honestly, like that. I've always, when I was working in Calgary, we always, looking at these fucking Frenchmen. There's no way they're pushing so much, and you know what? It is true. Like Montreal sells a lot. We sell a lot of B&O here. We move a lot of B&O. We've probably, I think we definitely are over 100 theaters at this point
yeah.
sold, and out of all of those, only two were gold.
Yeah, that's there is an equilibrium to the price hike versus sales dropping off. Like
Mm?
that will for always be a thing, right? But it's currently, and I don't think they're entirely wrong. B&O has like assessed that their 50s and 90s are too cheap for what their
Providing.
perceived value is. So therefore, you can up the price, and people will buy them at the same level. I
Yeah.
mean, I bet you like a lot of you guys in the chat are susceptible to the price hike coming in August. That you would actually go out and buy something before then, which is also a thing that happens.
Yeah, that's another hook, right?
Yeah, because that you make almost makes you forget about the previous price hike, right?
Well, that's like I was told. We had a conversation with Stefan this week that just, like, bro, if you're considering buying anything, buy it now before August 1st, and then, be done with it. Even though if even if you're just toying with the idea that maybe one day, fucking, well, make that one day before August 1st, and then just keep them in the box till the time comes or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm sure once you got your set of eights at home, you're gonna fucking take those emerges and put them in the box and set up the eights on the stands. That's what I would do right away. But I would do it before, because even the emerges are going up in price. So everything that you have is now it's increasing in the value, which I guess it's the most craziest investment proposition for people. But yeah, B&O does raise value over time, or like it or not.
Weirdly,
So
I'm in a weird boat with the eights. I think I prefer the sound of the 17s, but I prefer the looks of the eights. As in like regular bookshelf type of speakers, or even on the poles or stands or something.
I find 17s, because of the bigger driver, they have a little more. They have a little more boot.
Well, they
They
also have a
can they
bit
can
more
kick.
the sound I expect, or I've been used to from B&O. Whereas like the everything Mozart has a softer tweeter and a lot more bass.
Yeah, the Mozart, they kind of went off a little bit off tangent with the bass. I don't know if that was Jeff's idea altogether, or it's something that's just the trajectory that now the Mozart
Yeah.
platform and the essentially the acoustic image of B&O as is now changes to more defined, but in a weird way a little bit. Don't get me wrong, like the eights are like they're clear as crystal clear speakers. So,
I mean, in terms of looks, I really like the 8s. They look stunning.
and now they have walnut covers for them. Kareem ordered them. It's been fucking, I don't know how many weeks I've been looking
I
like a
mean, the
kid in
tiny
a
little
Christmas.
hate about them is how much the covers are, because they're ridiculously expensive compared to 18s.
Yeah. I wonder with the magnet allocation that they have in the reserve, right? That are they gonna come up with aluminum grills for them at some point?
I hope
Because they
so.
can also put that in the tune, right? I think that would look sick.
Yeah.
But
Chava says, I think the 8s have a sweet sound, clear imaging, more so than the balance at least. Yeah, the balance is so goddamn powerful. That's kind of where, like, because there's what, 400 watts in base power in the balance alone. Like, that's more power than the 8 have in total, I think.
yeah, but balance is
So, yeah,
ugly.
so the balance goes a bit silly, right? Like, and also the more Mozart they have produced, the less that bass hump has gotten, and the balance was the first Mozart thing.
Yes.
So, I mean, the balance kind of has that bass hump. The 28s for sure do. I mean, they're both like it seems a bit out of whack.
I'm gonna try to bring the 28s again in here, and we'll do this again. Like, we'll make a little segment, I guess, on the app, and just go through the speaker presets on it. Because what I find, it's always changing between the optimal and music and whatever else have you, and it changes
Yeah.
the wide narrow deal. And I would kind of like to go through that with people and just show how to do it so it doesn't change randomly, and you wonder why is it not sounding this way and the sounding's that way and whatever else have you. So I might get a set of those here and play around. I'm also really entertaining the idea of digging up at least one pair of those BeoLab ones from the storage and throwing them in the front. But I'm gonna commit to the BeoLab ones before the August hits for sure. I'm gonna buy a set because goddamn, I don't want to pay $400 more per speaker. So
Uh, this is just gonna be a binary choice. Uh, wow. Let's see where this is. This is on purpose.
Lipo, you were hired a speaker for. I honestly think that they shouldn't. I don't think they should play with. And by the way, 50s and 90s are not on the price increase. They're not included.
Yeah, but they will be in 6 months' time. They
I
absolutely
think
will.
they're
I can
yeah they're
guarantee you
gonna
that
come
because
around
they're
on the
gonna
next.
go to $150,000 or euro within the next year.
Yeah,
So they're gonna be 200 grand dollar pretty soon. Like, well, pretty soon is relative, but right, a year to 18 months.
I would think the next price hike for the 90s and 50s. I think it's gonna come around March of next year. That's my prediction.
Yeah, like I was talking to Sandeep about, like it's actually caused me issues with like insuring this place, right? Because when I
By the way,
bought them, they were what, 26 grand, but I now have to insure them for like $55,000. It's just like, holy hell.
yeah, it's the same for me. Fuck.
Like, and how do you explain to your insurance company, like, this electronic, it's not depreciating, it's appreciating.
Fudge.
And then they go by, like, surely by like, what, 3% a year? No, like 10 to 15.
That goes against all of our fucking calculations policies.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure as shit the formula for that doesn't even exist in the insurance company for appreciating electronics.
No. Chava says the 8s will get a slight increase. Yeah, 10%.
Slight increase is 400 Canadian dollars per speaker, my friend. That's slight.
Mean on what? On a set of they're what 4,000-5,000 euro. They're gonna go up 400-500 euro. That's quite a big increase, if you ask me. And that's on the base pair, right? That's not with the oak and stuff.
Yeah, that's Grey Melange.
Because what the front covers for a set is what 1,200 euro, I think, something like that. Because it's more than the 18s for some reason. Because the 18s is what, like 800 euro or something for oak. But you get way more oak. You get like quadruple the oak, if not more.
Yeah, you can make a few girls out of those for the 8s.
And you
Plus
get
they're individually screwed in, so I don't understand why is it so. Like, I don't understand that the manufacturing process could be that expensive for those speaker grills.
Well, I also have a feeling that for the 18s, it's just harder to make because it's so thin. Like, the chance of breaking a slat is much higher than the kind of thick slats
I'm positive. The splitting of the wood, if it's not perfect, it's gonna go. Yeah, no, I completely agree. There's way more waste, I would presume, from producing 8,000 grills, 18 grills than the Lab 8s, because the slabs are not that long.
So far the poll is almost 50-50.
I'll grab me one
more beer. But for a 3-choice poll, which is kind of interesting. So 46% of people say make newer, higher end speakers for extreme money. And then the other half says make lower end things. I agree with kind of both of that. But if the whole direction is going to be like we need the multimillionaires and whatnot, what I have a hard time like believing, right, is that these people don't have internet and that none of them ever look at a review. And that because I know for a fact there are people like that just walk into a store and give me the most expensive thing, right?
Yeah, but you can count that on your hands in the career of B&O if you worked there for a while.
Yeah, like the when he was still alive, like the Michael Jacksons of the world. Like there's videos of him going through Harrods, right? And he's looking at vases and like this enormous vase next to this other one. And like, what's the price on that and that one? Like that one's $500,000, that's $1 million. So, oh, give me the $1 million one. Right, that sort of thing. Like there are people like that.
But very few.
But you're going to have to bank on like the people that just want the most expensive thing. But then I'm thinking like, why not then just make something that is actually expensive? Like yeah. Go nutty. Go make a speaker that will actually start at a price that's nuts. And make it the best ever. Like 90s are close to that, but just make it insane. I'm perfectly up for that because that way it's always out of reach. But it also stops you from having to do the silly price changes because of wanting to target a segment.
Yeah.
Because if they had, 5 years ago or now, right, like BeoLab 100s, there would be no need for like 90s or 50s to go up this much.
No.
Or if you had BeoLab 75s for 75 grand, let's say. If you started with that price 2-3 years ago, it would be insane. If they were still 75 grand, it would still be insane, but people would probably choose them. Especially in that segment of people.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, that they retain their speakers in the portfolio for more or less a decade and some, right? There's very few and far in between that I could name that didn't really make it around for more than 5-6 years, like the 17s, what else that flopped really, like the BeoLab 4s, I guess. They didn't stick around for that long. But everything else
around a long time. 9s, 5s,
3s,
1s, they also, everything stuck around for a long time. There's very little.
The ones didn't stick around for much longer than I think 3 or 4 years before they were replaced by the BeoLab 9s. But ones were a spawn of a need for a BeoLab 2 subwoofer, because that's the evolution of the home theater per se, and also the Dolby's thing about, we need to sell more speakers, so we're going to invent a 7-point surround and blah blah blah, so you put more and more speakers, because at the end of the day everybody's in it for the money. And
let's see, BeoLab 1s had 6 model years.
Okay.
From 2000 to 2006.
And that's when the 9s came out, slightly shortly after, I'm thinking. But yeah, they've had speakers for a long, long time in their portfolio. So, and people keep those for a long time. So the 90s are going to stick around for 20 years. I'm certain of it.
I mean, the BeoLab 12s were kind of
They were just a blip in a portfolio, in my opinion, because they came out with the BeoVision 12 in 2012, and I think the last time that they were seen were 2015 at the latest, maybe 2016 when they discoed.
Yeah.
And that was that, which I liked them, but I really liked the BeoLab 12-1s, because those would have been the most perfect speaker for now implementation as Dolby Atmos for ceiling.
I mean, the 12s only went from 12 to 16.
Yeah, they didn't last long. They stuck around with the BeoVision 12.
Again, though, they're amazing speakers, and they're like a true design piece that just happens to be a speaker. But I think the marketing on it was pretty awful.
But they were also very shape specific in the interior design, because of the amount of aluminum they had and the limitation in colors, because they only had them in silver and white, and the whites were the rejects of the hewing from the aluminum, so they just powder coated them instead of melting and remelting the aluminum.
Yeah.
Which I think they should have came out, they had the what was that, the carbon edition or something that they came out with the Mark II BeoVision 12. That was the dark gray, and then there was a collab with Mia Ando, right?
Yeah.
She made them like some beautiful, like, she's obviously an anodizing artist, so those were killer. That's, if I had a set of those, I would buy every single spare board for those speakers that ever was produced, just to keep them alive for as long as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, those speakers didn't last long. BeoLab 11 didn't really last that long as well, as far as the subwoofer is concerned. A few of them that were TV specific, like, the BeoLab 7 series and BeoLab 10 series, which were, more or less for the integrated home cinema, and underneath the BeoVision 485 or 83 and 105 or 103, whatever those sizes were.
Yeah, and the 7 for the 7.
We actually have a few clients here that have an 85-inch TV or 83 of those BeoVisions, and it's dying now. So this is going to be a very, very interesting uninstallation of a quarter-ton fucking panel with a quarter-ton goddamn floor stand on it.
Yeah, get to the gym, I guess.
Jesus Christ. Oh man, my back is still hurting from moving the Lab 90s up the stairs the other 2 weeks ago to the showroom.
Get some some anabolic steroids, like you're raging Willie.
Fuck that, man. I'm just gonna get some movers, man. I'm not lifting that. That's no.
Koa says, do you think B&O justified the price hike because the existence of used market? People can afford expensive, eventually will get new, most expensive stuff, and it all goes to the used market. No, they literally say because the really rich people thereafter just want to pay more for something, which seems to be true, which is kind of weird.
But that's my experience, man.
Also, B&O doesn't really have the new used most expensive thing often anyway.
No, and it's quite honestly in the discretions of dealers to have a second life department, so to speak. We don't have that in our shop. Like, they believe in everything go new, which, I don't disagree with it, but it's that's the way it is. selling pre-owned equipment presents a lot of not even risks but issues, especially with people that expect that, yes, you bought a 20-year-old 9000, but you expect the performance of it like it was just unboxed. Well, yes, you get a 3 months warranty on everything, but you got to understand the fact that even though it's refurbished doesn't mean that everything inside has been replaced. You don't fix what ain't broke. And then it just presents a bunch of issues. So
especially when secondhand is still $1,500.
yeah, so people just, we don't do it for that reason. And it's just like, if you want, you can fucking go risk your money on a Facebook marketplace or whatever, buy it somewhere else. And, we have that, and people bring it to us every now and then, and they want to get it fixed. So we take responsibility for the repair, but that just also gets sent out to a repair center here to do because I know a lot about B&O, and I know my limitations, and one of them is that I'm not fucking with the BeoSound 9000 internals. I just don't. I have no interest in exploring how to fuck this up beyond repair.
No, you need to find the parts anyway, which is a pain in the ass.
So, no, I'll stick to my 9000 for as long as it works. And once the laser dies, I will have to open it and put in a new laser, because I did. At the time when the 9000 got discontinued, I did order a spare mechanism for mine, so I have a brand new laser chassis sitting. But at the end of the day, the 9000 in my house never really played much. It was more or less an occasion, I guess, the same as a lot of people look at it, playing vinyl. But
yeah,
there's a little more visual pleasure from watching. Like in the old apartment I had in the first one, before I moved downstairs from upstairs where I lived above myself, I had it right beside the closet, like the entrance, where if I had the door open and had a bath, I could watch the 9000 play on random and just slide through the CDs. It was cool. It's still cool, man. It's the nicest, most iconic B&O product that they've ever made. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it for as long as I can. Play it through the 90s just as PDIF direct. Maybe I'll buy a Link-Eye. There has been a request submitted for having IR integration into the BeoConnect core, so I'll see if that'll ever materialize. Maybe through some USB-C adapter or some sorts. That would be pretty cool, where you could link or have a Link-Eye on it for the sake of older equipment, more or less.
Yeah.
This fruit fly is absolutely pissing me off.
I think they might, but they also have a hierarchy of like what they deem worthy. In like, they may want to do it, but they'll do it like 2 years from now, right, when the actual need for it is gone.
Well, and that's, that was the same thing like with the turntables, that, by the time they woke up and turned around and gone and done something about it, it's been almost 10 years in a hipster world of school, right? I don't know about the CDs. I don't think the CDs are going to make that much of a comeback as much as the vinyl has, per se. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think so. I just, why would you buy physical digital media where you can just download it and own it, per se, versus, vinyl, which has its own sound? Let's just get into that. Also, I've read a very interesting article that was posted on Discord regarding the AMB, the Class A and B amps and Class D amps, and how much the Class D amps are now getting pretty much more accurate than the actual A and B amps when it comes to harmonic distortion and so on and so forth. It's a very interesting read. I'm not going to get into the details of it because I haven't retained all of it, but it is going to the point where I think the argument of A and B amps and this all analog nonsense is going by the wayside, because at that time, or at more or less once you do that, you listen into the Class A and B amps, what your preferred acoustic or your preferred acoustic imaging of that amp is essentially the harmonic distortion that is occurred within the amplifiers themselves.
Yes.
Where with the digital amps, they're getting faster and faster in the processing, where they can compensate for that and get that line flatter and flatter.
Yeah, so maybe you can also program it to have that distortion if you want to.
That's right. But I guess my point is maybe that's where I guess the new speaker from B&O would be, where it's completely flat on all the curves, because if the DSPs and everything has gotten to the point where it's comparing your old 486 megahertz PC to a quad core fucking Pentium something crazy Intel whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's that it's the same thing. Like if you compare the 50s or 90s versus the fives, where processing wise there's a little bit of a delay, but 50s and 90s basically can jog circles around the fives when it comes to acoustic performance, right? But that's also the age of electronics and the age of development and how far ahead we were at the time, 21 years ago now. So I think that whatever comes out next from B&O, and I think it's also been more or less in a way demonstrated, I guess, in the Lab 8s and the 28s, where the DSP is very, very prevalent now. Like there is no denying it that they do a lot of salt and pepper on the music from their own side.
Yeah, it was very obvious with 28s. I was telling Stefan, like, next time you're in the shop, listen to some 28s, play some Beatles music. It'll sound like it's made in the 2000s.
Yeah, it's like they remastered the shit live. It's really weird. And it's the same thing. Like if you plug in, your BeoConnect core to an old set of speakers, man, even like we plugged it into the fives, like fudge, man, that's a lot of difference.
Yeah, it's
harmonically, acoustically, a lot of difference, which is cool.
It's like, I've always liked the Class D amps because they're efficient and they're programmable, and like B&O has always been on the forefront. The Ice Power Class D were always sort of a thing of their own, because like the generic Class D has, like, I agree, was always sort of like a bit digital.
It wasn't there all the way.
I have nothing against Class AB. It's just like they're bigger and create more heat and that sort of thing.
But that's also, like, to me, comparatively, it's like watching a CRT television, which is more or less, it's not really digital, it's analog in a way, right? As far as how the screen works, versus looking at the same picture on an OLED panel. It's going to be two different experiences. Yes, resolution wise, of course, and clarity wise. And I think it's the same for how much you can fix now with the Class D amps versus what you can do, I guess, on a capacitance level, and because you actually have to build the crossovers out of actual capacitors and filters. So yeah, where you can emulate all of that in the digital world. So I quite wonder. I think I think if they're gonna come up with something that is trumping the BeoLab 90s, I don't think it's gonna be necessarily with the size of the speaker. I think it's gonna be with the amount of electronics that are in there to finesse the sound. And I think that if anything, that their room compensation should be increased to about 15,000 hertz.
Yeah, but I personally, maybe this, I'm fairly sure on this. When you go to a speaker that, let's say you make the BeoLab 100s or whatever, that are like 200-300 grand, right?
Yes.
A lot more of it is the eccentricity of it. The it's not like the sound needs to be good, but it doesn't even necessarily have to be the best, because nobody's going to hear it anyway. Like, who are you going to compare it to? Like the other 1,000 people that have this thing? Like, when you see those people, you'll see them in a hotel or like at a conference, or like you're almost never ever at each other's houses, right?
No, but like, when I lived with the 90s in my old apartment, they are a fucking proper brain damage speaker. Because if you live around it for a while, it's just, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that sounds like it.
Yes.
With the accuracy, the imaging, like, it just takes, like, not that I don't agree with demoing them in the store, But I think that like when you blow somebody's head off with a couple songs, the techno and your performance of the bass and all this, cool, right? Like wow, like fucking power, right? Like that's how I was demoed the fives, right? The Pearl Harbor when the torpedo hit the fucking boat, man. Boom, like you can feel the rumble in the chair and everything. Like but it's not something that like when you just sit at home and you listen, or for me, like the best time that I would ever enjoy the speakers was building Lego around them. When you sit in that sweet spot and you're constantly in that one position doing your thing, when your brain focuses on a different task and the sound is more the secondary. But that's where to me it becomes the most prevalent to like hear, because you just lift like, what the fuck is that? And you just wow, right? And you maybe you rewind the song a little or whatever, but you just lean back and listen to the rest of it. It's I've never was able to find a speaker that could do that again. 50s, yes,
Yeah,
but I
but
never lived around the 50s. So to that argument is just, yeah, like it's not for people to compare between one another, but a lot of these audiophiles, they don't really have anybody to compare it with. Like they don't have listen off parties where they let's everybody come to my house and judge my acoustics, and then we go to your house and judge your acoustics. Maybe that happens in some other world, but I've never come across that.
but what I more so mean by like you can go for what's on screen now, right? Like you can just go ridiculous. Because if this is a fucking statement, if you have this in your living room, like this avant-garde stuff.
Well, your house is a statement to begin with, because you can't just fit this in a fucking one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I mean, right? Like if this stuff can sell, like surely you can make something that's flamboyant, esoteric, whatever you want to do. Because I bet you, to a degree, 90s will sound similar, potentially better, maybe slightly worse, but this system is what, 350, 400 grand, something like that in dollars.
Without the amps.
Yeah, so like the comparison is way off, but it's almost no longer about the comparison, because like these horns and the metal used and just it's almost weird for the sake of being weird, right? Which is also a thing that people like,
Mm.
especially when, I don't know, you're like a Damien Hirst or something, and you have God knows how many millions because you sell esoteric art and or like embalmed sharks and shit like that, right?
Whatever comes through, yeah.
If you have like an embalmed shark in your house, you can have this in your house.
And people will be more impressed with the goofy ass shark,
Yeah.
even though this was more money. But yeah, no, it's true.
So just
But I don't think that honestly, like this is so out of B&O's like even comprehensive understanding that you would put something fucking crazy like that. It goes against everything that B&O stands for, in my opinion.
I agree, but I'm not saying it has to be like this. But
No.
you can make a 90 maybe flatter, wider, taller, put like your custom artwork on it, right? Like where it's a whole customer experience where it's almost semi-modular, and that's partially why it's so expensive. Or have it in a way where like it's crazy expensive because the way it's designed for you will be the only one.
Hmm.
Like, let's say you can pick a shade of orange, and the promise is we will never sell this speaker in the same shade of orange ever again.
Fair.
Or like, do you want it like gunmetal gray? Because yours will be the only pair. Like you're sort of buying the exclusivity.
Hmm. Alex von Ruckel says, I get why they use it, the Class D amps, because it makes it an amplifier much easier. But listen to the AB amp, like Accuphase or Esoteric, and no Class D amplifier will sound better. But I think, again, that's the argument that I made to the point. You're not listening just to the sound, you're also listening to the harmonic distortion of that particular amplifier. So
But
there's
you're also
always going
listening
to be
to
a
the
curve.
wiring and to the driver and
The
like
whole bit, man. It's not as clean. Like this is why I'm saying like the B&O is one of the probably the only companies that can really afford to do this, where they can reach the flat curve and fully control the sound in the room, because they know exactly what wires are spec'd inside the speaker. They know how long they are. They know what the powers in each driver, the resistance, the impedance, the blah, blah, blahs, the whole bit. And they can delete all of the negatives from the equation via the DSP, where you can't really do that with an AB amps. And I understand it's, it's the same argument. I guess I would say, a real wood or a fireplace. Fuck, they're both warm, but one's not gonna crackle, right? And not smoke up your house, I guess. But that's just it's the same heat, more or less. I think that the point is the accuracy that you can reach with digital is unarguable. It's the same reason why we don't put chipsets together by hand, but we let the machines do it digitally, because the precision that they have surpasses to what we would ever achieve as human beings on that level of microscopic, whatever, as far as the boards are concerned. But and I think it goes the same for everything else. I think it goes for the picture processing when you goes to the LG's AI picture processing and things that they give you in the menu to go through the whole assisted picture, whatever the fuck it is, with the 8 pictures that you pick out, and then it adjusts the picture based on your preference and liking. Well,
Yeah.
is that now like, how is that the same for everybody? Everybody picks different pictures, man. In all the G3s and 4 panels that I'd ever set up, man, no, not anyone that I can remember picked the same combination of pictures. So it's the same for sound, man. Everybody likes their sound a little different or whatever. Everybody has their opinion on it.
I mean, also, like, B&O is one of the few speaker companies where, yes, they use Class D, but you're listening to a system, right? Like, which most passive amp type things, you're listening to individual components that you switch out, which is just not a thing for B&O.
That's right.
So Class AB can maybe sound better, but like it does a change to the curve as well. So you would have to bring it back to the same EQ or output to see if you can. So if you, I mean, because for sure, like the amps can sound better. Partially that is preference, right? But it's with a passive system, the output is also different. So you have to like make the output levels the same again and see if you can then still hear the difference. Like, in my opinion, that's a fairer test, because there may be differences, like,
Yes.
and one may be better than the other, but like currently with like 50s and 90s, like those sort of ice powered Class AB or Class D, they're so fully tunable.
Yes. So there's no way B&O's going back to the AB amps. There's no way that that's ever going to happen. They can't afford that just by volumetric demand of what they deal with, because those speakers would be much, much bigger now.
I mean, I understand the sort of comparison in the passive world a lot more than in the active world, right? Because you can have active speakers with Class AB, no problem. But again,
Yes.
the tuning is what matters, because with anything active, like, it's tuned as an output device. I mean, you don't start like with an active amp and then say like, hey, we're actually going to internally rewire it with different spec wires, because you're going to change something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird comparison, and I have nothing against AB amps. I always very much like them on BeoLab 1s. Like, the BeoLab 1s are still one of my favorite speakers B&O has ever made, and they have ABs in them.
Mm-hmm. They sound great. They just need a little bit of a woofage.
But like, do 50 sound better? And they're all Class D? Yes. I think 50 sound way better than 5s.
Oh, fuck. Come on.
So yeah, it's
Six
apples and
of
oranges.
6 of one, half dozen the other, man. And I think that's where we're gonna leave that at for
Yeah.
tonight.
Have a great day, evening, afternoon, morning, everybody. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Just be warned, prices are going up by August, so if you're ogling anything,
If you're on the fence, get off it and purchase, man,
you
because
have
you're gonna
6
be
weeks.
the fence is gonna get taller August 1st.
Yeah, unfortunately. And
great...
you'll be angry again.
That's it. Have a great week, everyone. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.